Hey everybody, Taz from Critical Thinking Anarchist here, and I wanted to do some good. I'm going to be posting more on the Alyssa Milano and her crazy thing, and I think in the future episodes on her videos, I'm just gonna do the highlights because that hour-long thing, nobody watched it. But anyway, I wanted to do something decent, and one of the things that I saw on Facebook, and I've been following Mike Rowe for a long time, and this was a few months ago, was that a guy called Mike Rowe a modern day philosopher. To which Mike Rowe was like, "Oh, I don't know if I'm really a modern day philosopher," and I'll get into that post on another day. But just kind of reading through his bio here, and I known a little bit about Mike Rowe, and I've followed Mike Rowe on Facebook for a while, and I followed his career off and on for basically 20 years without quite realizing it because of course he narrated a lot of stuff on History Channel and Discovery and a few others. He was like one of the voices of Shark Week and um, Ghost Hunters, things like that. And so in reading up on this a little bit, I was just kind of like, okay, let's check out Mike Rowe's bio. And I like this. I just love this so much. He is the most blue collar, non blue collar guy you could ever hope for. As a celebrity, he probably has his head. What just happened? All right. So as a celebrity, he is probably the most blue collar, non blue collar guy, basically. And so, reading his bio again, like I said before, thanks to QVC, Mike became practiced at the art of talking for long periods without saying anything of substance, a skill that would serve him well as a TV host. Oh, right, I forgot. So Mike Rowe is a TV host, writer, narrator, producer, actor, and spokesman. His performing career began in 1984 when he faked his way into the Baltimore Opera to get his union card and meet girls, both of which he accomplished during a performance of Rigoletto. His transition to television occurred in 1990 when, to settle a bet, he auditioned for the QVC shopping channel and was promptly hired after talking about a pencil for nearly 8 minutes. If you've ever heard that story, it's kind of an impressive story. There, he worked for the graveyard shift for 3 years until he was ultimately fired for making fun of products and belittling viewers. And do we not all want to be that guy? I mean, that is, and I'm sure at the time he's probably sitting there going like, "Damn, I just lost my job at the QVC." Like, probably sitting there going, "Well, whatever." You know, on one side, kind of going, "Geez, I probably shouldn't have got fired," but at the same time, going, "Well." Bigger and better things, right? Thanks to QVC, Mike became practiced at the art of talking for long periods without saying anything of substance, a skill that would serve him well as a TV host. Throughout the 90s, Mike had hundreds of jobs and relished his role as a chronic freelancer with lots of time to loaf around. Then, through a horrible miscalculation, he pitched a 3-hour special to the Discovery Channel that ended up resulting in the show Dirty Jobs. Viewers liked it, and Discovery responded by ordering 39 episodes, a shocking commitment that Mike was contractually obligated to honor. For the first time in his career, Mike went to work with a vengeance. And of course, again, if you followed Mike Rowe at all, it's kind of one of those probably like he loves it and regrets it at the same time because, of course, I think it honestly educated him like crazy. I mean, he goes into everything full bore, but he probably had to work harder at that than doing any 9 to 5 job or, you know, 10-hour a day job or whatever it would be. I mean, he honestly probably worked harder doing that show, but it also made sure that he had full appreciation for the people who do skilled labor. Over the next decade, Mike would become known as the dirtiest man on TV. He traveled all 50 states and completed 300 different jobs, transforming cable television into a landscape of swamps, sewers, ice roads, coal mines, oil derricks, crab boats, hillbillies, and lumberjack camps. For this, he has received both the credit and the blame. And again, he has, almost every show that he's worked on, he's participated in some way. He was responsible for the biggest catch or deadliest catch, and the crab fishing shows. Looking for a simpler way to make the rent, Mike began to seek out opportunities that didn't require multiple showers. He narrated hundreds of documentaries about space, nature, war, serial killers, hurricanes, dinosaurs, and how stuff works. If there's a wildebeest getting eaten alive by a lion, it's probably Mike telling you about it. As a public speaker, he's routinely hired by the Fortune 500 to frighten employees with stories of maggot farmers and sheep castrators. And when Madison Avenue came calling, Mike said, sure. He has forged dozens of partnerships with many iconic brands and filmed approximately 1 million Ford commercials. Eventually, Mike was overcome with a strange desire to give something back. On Labor Day 2008, he launched Mike Rowe Works, a PR campaign designed to reinvigorate the skilled trades. He's since written extensively about the country's relationship with work, the widening skills gap, offshore manufacturing, infrastructure decline, currency devaluation, and several other topics for which he has no actual credentials. He once gave a TED Talk on changing face of the modern-day proletariat in May 2011. He testified before the U.S. Senate Commerce Committee about the importance of changing perceptions and stereotypes around blue-collar work and was asked back to testify to the House Committee on Natural Resources in 2014. In 2013, Mike and Caterpillar worked together to launch Profoundly Disconnected, a new initiative focused on technical recruitment as well as the book Profoundly Disconnected, a true confession from Mike Rowe, available at profoundlydisconnected.com. All the proceeds from the sale of the book go to Mike Rowe Works Foundation to be used for work ethic scholarship and advocacy campaigns surrounding American manufacturing. And, I mean, God, he's got I could go on. He's got a great bio. And he does Returning the Favor right now, which kind of, which gives back, or features people giving back to the community. And one of the things that kind of stuck in me a little bit is with the sale of John Krasinski's Some Good News, Mike Rowe would be a great face for that. However, he's basically already doing that with Returning the Favor and his podcast and everything else. And I would love to say I've listened to the podcast. Unfortunately, I have not. I've got thousands of other podcasts I need to listen to. Mike Rowe is one of the top ones I should listen to. But anyway, and again, I plan on making this short, and this is just, it's just hard not to gush over the guy because he seems like the guy you want to be friends with. People on the left and the right want to be friends with this guy because they all believe in him that much. So there's little evidence that college for all brings broad economic benefits, and it's not the place of politicians to determine which career paths are good and need to be encouraged. Their efforts to push an ever larger number of young adults into college has done more harm than good. It's time for government, especially state governments, to shift their focus to career readiness. We need to give high school students more options, not fewer, to freely determine the career path that works for them. This article, more than any I've seen, explains the problem I've spent the last 12 years trying to address. It's worth sharing. So, I mean, if you guys can, go check out this article, nationalreview.com, in praise of trade school. But, again, I honestly plan on doing a series on Mike Rowe and possibly being the modern philosopher. But even if not, even if he isn't the modern philosopher, he is a well-educated, well-spoken, smart person. He's the guy that you want to be friends with, and he's the guy that both sides would love leading the country, oddly enough. And he's also the guy who's smart enough to realize that he doesn't want to lead the country. He doesn't want that kind of responsibility. He doesn't want, he doesn't want it. Why would he? He's already got everything he could want, except for probably just the country going in a better direction. Not even the right direction, just a better direction. But that's getting political, and I get political on too many other things. Again, I just want to be like, hey, Mike Rowe is awesome. I'm I'm hoping to do a little spotlight on this for a while and shed some good news from time to time because he does. Anyway, you guys take care. Hope you like the video. Please share and subscribe, and I will talk to you later.